In this tutorial, I talk about figures of speech. So in my last tutorial, I talk on understanding of poetry. In that tutorial, I explain some of the major elements of poetry which are significant in composition and understanding of poetry. So in my today's tutorial on figures of speech, if you have not subscribed my YouTube channel Literature Insights, please subscribe my YouTube channel Literature Insights by pressing the bell icon button of subscribe. Figures of speech is a word or phrase using figurative language in non-literal sense for rhetorical or vivid effect. It is described as a poetic device and significant to the functioning and embellishment of language. Figures of speech or rhetorical figures are a syntactical pattern of the words. So now here we can see the structure of words arranged. A figures of speech is an intentional deviation from ordinary language chosen to produce a rhetorical effect which gives the more emphasis upon a word. So now here the figures of speech has its own importance in literature because it gives the more emphasis using figurative language, or it is also functioning in a significant way for the decoration and embellishment of language in literature. So now here in this video I talk about 10 prominent figures of speech which are commonly used in poetry and literature as follows. So here is a table. In that table I have mentioned 10 prominent figures of speech. So number 1, metaphor, then simile, synecdoche, hyperbole, personification, apostrophe, alliteration, assonance, consonance, onomatopoeia. So these are the 10 prominent figures of speech which are commonly used in poetry and literature for a figurative language or decorative language or the embellishment of language in poetry and literature. So now here we talk about the first figure of speech, metaphor. Metaphor is the most important figures of speech and commonly used to compare two or more objects or things directly. Metaphor used in our ordinary conversation. We can find metaphor in our ordinary conversation. We often use these figures of speech without knowing that we are using it. For example, when we say in our daily conversation that you are a donkey. So now here in this sentence you are a donkey, we simply compare man with a donkey by seeing his laziness, inactiveness in his work. Then in metaphor the words like, as if, even as are not used to draw a comparison between two dissimilar objects. So now here examples. He was a lion on the battlefield. So in this sentence man is compared to lion. He is a shining star. In this sentence man is compared with a shining star directly. All religions, arts and sciences are branches of the same tree. So in this sentence the branches of all religions, arts and sciences are compared to the branches of tree. Chaos is a friend of mine. In this sentence chaos is simply compared to man in a friendly manner. So simile is one of the another figure of speech which is significant for comparison. Simile is one of the most frequently used poetic devices in poetry and literature. It is used to show similarities between two objects or things that are fundamentally dissimilar. Simile makes a comparison between two objects or things by using words like, as and so. Examples: my love is like a red, red rose. This line is taken from Robert Burns' poem, A Red, Red Rose. So in this sentence or in this line, poet compared his love with a red, red rose. He drinks like a fish. So now here the habit of drinking of a man compared with the habit of drinking of a fish. You were as brave as a lion. So now in this sentence the bravery of man is compared to the bravery of lion. He is as busy as a bee. So now here the hard working of man is compared with the hard working of bee. Synecdoche. Synecdoche is a part of something used to indicate the whole or vice versa. A synecdoche is a class of metonymy, often by means of either mentioning a part for the whole or conversely the whole for one of its parts. Examples: 10 hands work together. In this sentence, 10 hands refers to the people who are involved in the act of working. All hands on a deck. So in this sentence, actually there where no hands can be seen running across the ship, but the speaker using synecdoche and allowing hands to represent whole. India won World Cup of 2019. So now the sport of cricket is represented by the name of country India. So India represents the whole country. Helping hands. So now here we can find the hands of persons who helps or assist in a needy situation to the others. Personification. Personification is the most commonly used figures of speech in which the inanimate or non-human objects are given human qualities, powers or feelings. Examples: the stars winked in the night sky. So in this sentence, stars having no eyes, they cannot wink like a human being's eyes. So here we can find personification. Stars are not winking in reality, but they are twinkling. The cave mouth yawned. So in this sentence, the person's mouth can yawn, but a cave mouth cannot. The yawning is a property of live human beings, is attributed to the cave. In third example, because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immorality. Because I could not stop for death is a poem written by Emily Dickinson. So in this stanza, death is personified as a person driving a carriage. Then hyperbole. Hyperbole means an exaggeration of fields for the sake of emphasis. It is a deliberate or unintentional overstatement on an object or tendency. However, in poetry, hyperbole is used to create the desired effect and comic effect. It is used to bring out the faults of the characters and lyrics to praise or glorify the object. Hyperbole is also used to express the heightened states of emotion such as love, anger, disgust and displeasure, etc. So here are examples. He saw a man as tall, a power pole. So now here we can see the man is tall, a power pole. It is not possible in reality. She is as heavy as an elephant. The blacksmith's hand was harder than rock. My grandmother as old as the hills. So apostrophe is a figure of speech in which a speaker directly addresses someone that is not present or cannot respond to reality. The entity being addressed can be an absent, dead or imaginary person, or it can also be an inanimate object or abstract idea. So example, here I have taken a famous line of Juliet from William Shakespeare's play Romeo and Juliet. O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? So now in this sentence we can find it is an apostrophe because although Romeo is a living person and hiding in her yard and listening to her, Juliet thinks that she is addressing to someone who is not present and she is speaking in his absent. Then alliteration is a figure of speech in which the repetition of initial sounds in the same line or stanza is known as alliteration. Water, water everywhere, and all the boats did sink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. So in this stanza we can find there are bold sounds, bold and underlined sounds, which are occur at the initial stage of the line or stanza. That's why it is known as alliteration. The above stanza is taken from S.T. Coleridge poem The Rime of Ancient Mariner. Here we can find repetition of the same initial sounds in a bold and underlined. Assonance. In assonance, assonance is the repetition of the vowel sounds anywhere in the middle or end of a line or a stanza except at the initial position is known as assonance. Example: water, water everywhere, and all the boats did sink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. The above stanza is taken from S.T. Coleridge poem The Rime of Ancient Mariner. Here we can find the repetition of vowel sounds in the middle or end of a line in a bold or underlined. Consonance. The repetition of the consonant sounds anywhere in the middle or end of a line or a stanza except at the initial position is known as consonance. So now here is example: water, water everywhere, and all the boats did sink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. The above stanza is taken from S.T. Coleridge's poem The Rime of Ancient Mariner. Here we can find repetition of the consonant sounds anywhere in the middle or end of a line in a bold and underlined. Onomatopoeia. So in onomatopoeia, when the words echo the action or actual sound produced in same action, it is termed as onomatopoeia. The formation of a word sound is associated with that what is named. So now here are examples. Here are some of the words that are used as examples of onomatopoeia. Splash. When the ball splashes into water, it creates the sound splash. Hiss. When the sound, it is a sound of snake. Buzz, the sound of bee. Woof, the sound of dog. Quack, the sound of duck. Boom, actual sound of bomb. Cuckoo, sound of cuckoo birds. Crackle, when we walk on the dry leaves, it creates sound crackle. Snap, the sound of rope. Snapped. So these are the examples of onomatopoeia. If you like my video, please share, like and subscribe my YouTube channel Literature Insights.